Welcome to Tales That Inspire Lives, where we teach wisdom and guidance through life's obstacles. Emma knew something wasn't right, but she stayed anyway. At first, everything felt perfect. Daniel was charming, attentive, the kind of man who made her feel like she was the only person in the world. He texted her every morning, called her every night. He told her things no one had ever said before. "You're different. I've never felt this way about anyone. I think God brought you into my life." And she believed him, because deep down, she wanted to believe him. But slowly, things began to change. It wasn't obvious at first. It started with little things. He would get irritated when she didn't reply to his texts fast enough. He questioned where she was, who she was with, why she needed time alone. At first she thought, he just cares about me. But care doesn't feel like pressure. Then came the arguments. Small at first, but they grew quickly. Every disagreement somehow became her fault. If he got angry, it was because she was pushing his buttons. If he said something hurtful, it was because she misunderstood him. And when she cried, he would say, "You're too sensitive." Emma started to question herself. Maybe he's right. Maybe I am the problem. She became quieter, more careful, more anxious, always trying to avoid the next argument, always trying to keep the peace, always feeling like she was walking on eggshells. But peace never came. Only tension, only confusion, only emotional exhaustion. Her friends started noticing. "You don't seem like yourself anymore," one of them said. But Emma defended him. "You don't understand him like I do. He's just been through a lot. He'll change." She kept holding on to the version of him that existed in the beginning when they first met. But the truth was, that version was disappearing. Or maybe it was never real to begin with. One night, everything changed. They were arguing again. The same cycle, the same words, the same pain. But this time, something inside her broke. Not loudly, not dramatically, quietly. She looked at herself in the mirror later that night, and for the first time, she didn't recognize the person staring back at her. The confident, joyful woman she once was gone, replaced by someone tired, drained, and lost. And in that moment, she asked herself one question: why am I still here? That night, she did something she hadn't done in a long time. She prayed. Not a perfect prayer, not a long prayer, just a real one. "God, I don't know what to do anymore. I feel stuck. I feel weak. Please help me see the truth." And sometimes God doesn't answer with a voice. Sometimes he answers with clarity. The next morning, Emma woke up with something she hadn't felt in a long time: peace. Not because everything was fixed, but because something inside her had shifted. For the first time, she stopped asking, "How do I fix this relationship?" and started asking, "Why am I staying in a relationship that's breaking me?" Over the next few days, she began to see things clearly. The manipulation, the control, the emotional damage, all the things she had ignored suddenly became impossible to ignore. And then she made the hardest decision of her life. She walked away. It wasn't easy. He called, he apologized, he promised to change. But this time, she didn't listen to the words. She looked at the pattern, and she chose herself, for the first time in a long time. The healing didn't happen overnight. In fact, it took months. There were days she missed him, days she doubted herself, days she felt alone. But slowly, she began to feel something new: freedom, peace, strength. She started reconnecting with who she used to be, laughing again, smiling again, living again. And one day, she realized something powerful. God didn't remove her from that relationship to punish her. He removed her to protect her. Sometimes, we hold on to people because we're afraid to let go. But what we don't realize is some people are not meant to stay in our lives. Not everyone who comes into your life is sent by God, and not everyone who leaves is a loss. Sometimes, the very thing that breaks your heart is the thing God uses to save your life. The moral of this story is that God will give you the strength to walk away, even when you feel weak, because He sees clearly what you cannot always see. If this story spoke to you, don't forget to like and subscribe so we can continue sharing stories that inspire and guide your life. And remember, even in your hardest moments, God is working behind the scenes.